What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for a special interview. I'm here alongside of my brother, David Rowell, who is the star of Christmas in Carolina. I did that review. It dropped in November. It is available now on all digital platforms. Check it out. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But we got a lot of things to talk about here. It is a pleasure to have you on the show today, my brother, David. How you doing so far?
Man, I couldn't be happier, man. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm excited to talk to my bro. He did a great review, gave everybody their flowers, and we're just appreciating being here, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, man. So I think what's important to start off with is two things. Obviously, we're here in 2021 now that Christmas in Carolina has dropped back in November, and folks still, even though it sounds like it's a Christmas movie, we'll talk about it. It really embraces two things big for me. Southern hospitality, which I think is something that people always say they know, they may be familiar with, but truly look at the essence of it, because that's exactly what the film do to the utmost authenticity. And I think the other thing is holidays in a Black person's home. If you want to see that to the authentic level, absolutely, it is right there for you. But beyond that too, it does have a really positive message, really uplifting. And I think, well, I don't think, but I know with the times now, this is something everyone can use to really put a smile on their face and really, an eye into the good of the good of humanity. So definitely check that out. Definitely check it out. But yeah, with that being said, now that it's dropped in November, we're in 2021. What's kind of your reflections into your year of 2020, which has been a really difficult year for some, for a lot, shall I say? And now that we kind of crossed that bridge into the new year, what do you look back now to in 2020? How's everything kind of flowing for you?
Well, for me, it's all about perspective. So where most people may look at 2020 as an awful year, and yeah, we all had struggles and some obstacles we had to overcome. I look at it as what we still have going forward, and what the opportunities we still got from 2020, and what it brought everybody's perspective. We found out that we are much stronger than we thought we were. We can actually move forward together, and I think it's brought so many people together more than they've realized. For people who are always busy and moving, hey, listen, you can't go anywhere. There's a shutdown. Some people didn't even know how to really come back home and interact with their families, with their brothers, with their cousins, because
they made it that
so long since you've really been forced to do that. Since you were a kid.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's been with great understanding, and this I look at it what it's done for me personally, and it's actually strengthened my relationship with my family, my loved ones, and just gave me a new perspective on life, because everybody didn't make it through 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Make it through, instead of harping on what we lost, let's be appreciative of what we still have. So that's how I look at it. 2021 is going to be a phenomenal year. I'm speaking that, and I feel that.
That's right.
And no matter what, as long as I have air in my body, it's gonna be a fantastic day, man. I've got purpose. I've got reason I'm being here. Got trying to make sure everybody that I'm involved with has some type of motivation and inspiration behind that. So I'm excited.
I just want to make this clear to the audience really quick. There's one word he didn't use, or one phrase he didn't use, but this is absolutely what positive and radiant mental health is. This is when you sit down for a minute and understand what's around you, focus on the positivity, and then once you encompass that, to give it back. That's literally what David is encompassing here. And it's just powerful. And when you do things like that, more and bigger opportunities come your way. Better energy comes your way. You have to walk that lifestyle. And I think that I absolutely agree 100%. I was not one of the ones that looked at 2020 as a bad year. You're absolutely right. It all gave us a moment to sit back and relax, refocus on ourselves, recant, and then come up with a plan to move forward. And that is a positive thing. When the world stops, because it doesn't stop, these things don't happen, And when you have that opportunity, it was supposed to be used in a positive way. And David is a walking testament to that. So again, I don't know if I said it on the show, but I know I said it before that. I thank you absolutely for the person you are, because that's we need more of that in the world. So glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Now, you being African American brother. Now I know you've done interviews a lot for Christmas in Carolina, but I don't think you was able to do one with another brother, as we keep referring to each other as brother. But just in case you don't know what that means, we're not really brothers, but we are really brothers.
Right.
But considering all things with the state of the nation and so on, how are you doing on that note?
Well, I keep pretty busy. No matter whether I'm, I can't, I think something else that has brought great fruition into my life is that with the pandemic, it forces you to be very creative.
Yep.
You still have to get what you have to do done. So if you can't do it that way, what are you going to do to make sure that what you need to do still gets done? So here we are on the via Zoom call. So it hasn't really stopped my flow. I've I run a foundation full time, my nonprofit that helps kids to identify and realize their dreams earlier than when I found mine. Because doors are going to close, but don't worry about that, because other doors are going to open for more opportunity. Sometimes those doors are closing just because they need your, they need what's meant for you, needs your full undivided attention.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's pushing you to thrive in something else that you didn't even know this door was already prepping you to get to that door. That's why it's closing. You've already mastered that. You've got what you needed from there. Now it's time to move on and level up. So it hadn't stopped my flow, brother. I'm we're knocking out these interviews. We're still rising as an actor, as a philanthropist, as just and inspiring others to be who they want to be.
My man. So, believe it or not, folks, Christmas in Carolina is his first major role and lead of this film. And it doesn't come off to me at all. And I think, you have to cater, you have to, tip your hat off to the production crew, the writing and so on. But either way, you still got to do the work. You were totally natural in your role, to the point it could also just be a clone of you. It could just be that extra extended version of you. But I know you did talk about this in the past, so I just want to make sure I just give you opportunity right now to talk about it. But just take us down the steps of, and a lot of people with it dropping during the pandemic. The film was before the pandemic, so back to when things were normal. Just kind of take us down the road of this transition into landing this role ultimately until this point. Now, if you have seen it, your friends and family have seen it. It was just the first. It was just the first plaque on your wall. Now you got many more things to come. But take me through that entire mindset of from starting to now.
Wow, that still gets me excited talking about that. Just when you're being hungry about something, something about being real hungry, adamant, and authentic, and just starving for it. Things just manifest and just happen for you. And I was entering a new stage of my life when, like I said, one of those doors were closing again. And then except this time I was a little more intentional. I knew another door was going to open. So when I saw that crack, and there was this opportunity for this role, which at the time wasn't even Christmas in Carolina. It was something totally different.
Okay.
The script actually developed as Kelly S. Williams came on board and Darius McCrary came on board. So then everybody had to re-audition because, hey, look, we don't care how many years you got acting. We don't care how charming you are, potential you got. You're going to re-audition and make sure that they give you the thumbs up. So
got two icons on the set, man. You got to get their graces.
Yeah, seriously. So we all had to re-audition. And luckily fortunately, we pulled it off. We put the work in. And they gave us the thumbs up. We went forward. We had been going over lines and building team chemistry for about 6 or 7 months. So what you saw, the beautiful thing about Christmas in Carolina is that it took so much. And although there'll be critics and there'll be this, that, and the third, but what people got from that energy was so real and authentic because everybody in there was hungry. Everybody in there was really wanting everybody else to evolve and be the best they could be. And through that process, man, it was so humbling. It was an experience not many people ever get a chance to really realistically get. So, man, we were so like the Disney eyes. We were just so man. It was like a
Yeah.
dream come true, man. So we really, that chemistry was real. We really loved
Hmm.
on each other, like, and that was a year ago. We filmed that in 2019 in December, uh,
Hmm.
and a total of 6 days. So it was like we didn't sleep. You might be able to tell certain ones we look a little tired out or whatever, but you can imagine doing something like that
It's
over and over.
unimaginable, to be honest. I don't know if folks know, but that's a huge obstacle to pull.
Yeah, for sure. But that was just a magical moment, man. When we found out that we get an opportunity to be alongside Kelly and Darius and Sean, who plays Waldo on Family Matters, who helped
Yeah.
co-direct with
Yep.
Peggy Williams and Irvin Williams, written by Stacey Davis. Man, if you look at the bigger picture, bro, it's like the odds to make that film happen were so against us. And
Yep.
for it to be on as many platforms as it is now, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Google Play,
Yep.
Fandango, iTunes, and it's in Walmart now. How about that? It's
Yep.
in Walmart. Uh, it's just unheard of from a
Yep.
very, very, very small town, which the writer is also from a very small town. Like it's to beat the odds like that just gives that resilience, gives
Yep.
that inspiration and motivation towards anybody. And
Yep.
that's what I want people to kind of get when they don't know the ins and outs. Like, man, don't think your dream is too small. Don't think whatever you got going on is too small. If you really believe in that thing, and it's not going to always happen like Christmas in Carolina, it's not always going to happen as quick as you want it to. But if you
Yep.
stay true to it, I promise you, it's gonna work out. It's
Yep.
gonna work out.
That was one of my biggest points in my review, is that
Mm-hmm.
you, especially in 2020, you cannot take for granted that anything could be or should be or possibly will be released. So the fact that it dropped, period, is already like okay, good
Right.
stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean? And yeah, and I think too, it's not even a question of chemistry. The pairings are so organic. Like, there was parts I was just like, I'm pretty sure him and Jocelyn know each other, like, beyond.
Look, man, that was one of the biggest things. Jocelyn and I had met 6 months prior, and first of all, Jocelyn is just phenomenal, man. She's a juggernaut. So she's been doing this thing, man, for so long, and she's just a monster. She just really helped elevate my own game and challenge me in ways that I could never imagine. Plus, you don't want to not come with it with Jocelyn. People don't know Jocelyn is fierce.
Yeah.
She had 2 Christmas movies come out this year, and she was involved in a Hallmark film. I think a Christmas Carol in Nashville or something like that. But the chemistry was instantaneous with Jocelyn and I when we met, and we didn't know each other prior, but we really, everybody feels like we were either dating in real life or we knew each other prior. So that was always a great thing.
And that's all that matters. I mean, like, it's the same respect for villains. When you watch a movie and you hate the person, then they did a damn good job. So if it's a good movie and you think that people are really dating, then they did a damn good job. So
yeah.
Yeah, it had me like, hold on real quick. Let me just double check.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very organic. The casting for sure. And I think, again, you spoke about the icons and Kelly and Darius on set. I mean, you just have to think, when you have, again, separately you have 2 icons, but pairing, that's monumental right there. Like,
see, Najir, that's the real thing. Now it was already something to get Kelly. Now you're gonna bring Darius too, and the energy and the gems. Najir, man, there's things that you can pick up from their 30 years of experience, 60 years altogether combined, that you'll never get in the acting class, that you're never going to get out here. And those things you can only get by observing firsthand, watching, and trial and error, and just really trying to see what it is that they're doing. But they were so helpful, man. They didn't mind giving out tips to the trade. Darius was dropping them like crazy. Sean Harrison. There were so many things that they did, and Kelly's, they're so down to earth. Of course, you, as most probably should, or you would expect, but they're not. They're so down to earth, man. It was so
Yeah.
humbling to see that, because we see them as like they're like
Larger than life.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's talking. You talking about Laura and Eddie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's to us, it is. It's a big deal in our culture. That was our Full House. That was our, that's our Friends.
Yeah.
That was it. Family
Yeah.
Matters ran for what, 9 seasons?
Yeah. I say it all the time. I said these new series that come out on Netflix that get hour episodes, 10 episodes a season for one message. We were getting this household knowledge and perspective in Family Matters in 30-minute one episode of the season. Like you grew up in that house, believe it or not. So like there always are going to be families. So I couldn't even imagine being on set and happen to like bounce reality between like, I got to do a job. Okay. They're playing the mom and the dad. Okay, cool. But wait, they were really like my brothers and sisters. So like, and I idolize these people. Like it's the confliction of like being in that could just have been crazy. But all things aside, like good vibes, good energy. I expected nothing less.
And you check that at first. You go in and you admire, but you don't want to oversell. You want to because you're here together to perform, to do a job. To the best of your abilities. But there's nothing wrong with showing your admiration and just, you appreciate what they've done for the craft, what they've done for the culture. It was those guys, man, it was just meant to be. Some things are just, some things are just meant for some people. And for us, that group that was allowed to be amongst talent of that caliber, you can't even really speak on it, man. It's just very, very fortunate and very lucky.
All right, let's ask the hard question now. Now, we are living in the era of things being revived, things having spin-offs, whatever it may be. Do they or do they not touch Family Matters? That's question one.
If they touch it, they got to bring everybody back. I think some things also are so perfect.
Yes.
Do you want to touch them? Do you want to come back? Michael Jordan retired in '98 with that last shot. Remember that over the Utah Jazz?
I'm in DC and I was a Wizards fan, so
but it kind of tarnished his last memory. Although he was 39, 40 years old, still putting up 50 points and the Wizards, but it was just different.
He had no business putting that jersey on. It absolutely. It's the same thing with Mike Tyson getting back in the ring not too long ago. I was just like, look, this can go bad if it goes bad. You know what I mean?
Might look good though. Might look good.
Absolutely. Woo-hoo.
But I get what you're saying. I think they would win regardless because they have such a huge fan base that they're going to come out anyway. But not too many people have done what Family Matters has done for the world. Yeah, they most of their fans, believe it or not, what I've been told, are not in the U.S. They're global.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You watch Darius put a post up, I guarantee you, like you'll see people from all over the globe right now comment and like and they're global. Yeah.
So, did you ask? Is it a possibility of it? Because, and the only reason I'm putting you on the hot seat for this because I heard you make that pitch to wanting to be part of the Bad Boys franchise. Look, I know you got ideas flowing. So the bang bang here. If you asked if it's a possibility, then you also had to say because if there is a possibility, right, I'm your guy.
If there's a Bad Boys 4, Uncle Willie, call your son, man. Call David L. Rowell, man. I'm here for you. I'm ready. Hey, we can do that thing.
So did you ask? Should they do?
I think it was. I think it's hard not to ask. I didn't ask per se, but there's so many working elements to that to the answer. They can't. They can. I think they can want it, but it's got to be collaboratively. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Yeah. I would. When I find out, listen, I'll be the first to be like, "Hey, y'all, what's up?"
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% all jokes aside. I'm 100% with you. It's one of those type of things where like you put it in the collector's case and you just let it sit there. But nothing is safe nowadays. But I think it's also really a good thing to realize that all the parties at hand are still available and the right minds are still in the right mindset. So if it was done, there should be a lot of confidence that it will get done correctly. So,
and I believe that, and I don't think everything was done correctly so far. And I'm not speaking on any shows specifically, but
or potential movies coming out. That's all I'm gonna say.
but everything hasn't always. They don't always work out like they should, or how we expect.
Yeah.
But I'm confident that they would have I mean, come on, we'd all be excited to see them come back. All of us.
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know the feels I would have. I just wouldn't even know. Yeah, and then you know how the aesthetic of how things are filmed now, you know, even that kind of gets under my skin a little bit. Like that, it has to be modernized now because of how things are. But it's one of those things where you just keep it in the collector's case. Anyway, so I know you're a kid from the Carolinas, South Carolina to be exact, former basketball player.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit of sports. Let's talk some Carolina sport. I'm a Panthers fan. I don't know if you're a Panthers fan, but I know you're a Hornets fan.
I mean, I like the Hornets. I mean, I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, so I mean, I support Mike. I'm not so much a Carolinas fan, but you know, I will support. You know, anything from the Carolinas, I'm gonna push. You know, we got a lot of talent down here.
Yeah. Not just that too. A ton of good college institutions too that you know everyone's very.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're getting ready to do an HBCU tour. Me and my career, my foundation.
Yeah.
And go around and give our speeches, give our talks, and help others to just be aware and to help them become exposed earlier. So we always going for the kids, but we're going to do it for the young adults.
Yeah,
they're the ones that are really going to hit this peak a little quicker. And if we can expose them a little sooner, it'd be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody doesn't always know how to react to situations. And when things don't happen for you, you get kind of stuck in the mud. So it's just, I wish it's something I wish I would have had even, 6 months prior to when we get my things together or whatever, or a year. So I just want to further expose and give those gems to people that could use them. Anybody.
Words right out of my mouth as an alumni, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, HBCU in Maryland. I would tell you that. Yep. Okay. Right. So I would tell you that when the world hits, it hits quick. And so to be able to, for you to be able to get back that knowledge, as you say, young adults, young professionals, is priceless. And I think that what's also really valuable about it as well is that, seeing somebody you can identify with, you come off as a stand-up guy, approachable. So like, being able to draw that connection and keep it 100, it will go a long way for them, because I could tell you that number one, no one else is doing that job. And number two, if anybody is trying to have that conversation with you, it's over your head. And it's talking down onto you. So it means nothing because they're not in the mud, like I said, in that situation. So it doesn't resonate. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure there were some warnings there, but like nothing that I can quote, because that's how it didn't attach to me.
And there's a couple of things you said, like the being approachable, being to be able to identify with me and to see that I've got so many elements that happen for me. So there's an element for the athletes. Most athletes, there's going to be a time that you're going to have to divorce that sport and do in some, not all of them, but a lot of them will have to divorce in some type of way. And then, I'm a communication major. So there's that. Now I'm into the acting field. There's, there's theater, and there's so many dots to connect and people that can connect with me, and to be able to go there and just help people understand. And more than anybody, you and I, after you graduate, there was like 100,000 other people that have graduated the same day or a couple days after you.
Go ahead, preach, brother.
listen, you got to go out there, and the networking starts now. You can't even
Mm-hmm.
get, it's not, it's so far beyond graduating.
Yep.
Graduating doesn't, it doesn't confirm anything other than you went to school 4 years and you're disciplined enough to stay in it. But
Yep.
outside of that, you got to do the legwork. You got to do the grunt work. You got to build relationships. You got to be able to talk to people. People got to trust you. You have to be a stand-up person, individual. Got to be presentable. All these things matter. You know,
Yep.
how you look at somebody, to the way you dress, everything. Everything is all a working art,
Yep.
and the law of attraction. So, and these things, people, I wish I would have known some of these things I had naturally, but just because you have it naturally doesn't mean that you understand
Yep.
what you have and understand why it's important. And
Yep.
that's my job now, as I'm coming into understanding, to give it to somebody else.
Yep. And I'll say it, folks. And for us, when I say us, you gotta work 10 times as harder too.
And be
You might
10
want to get a head start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Better know you, and you gotta be good at what you do.
Yeah.
Really good and
Yeah.
expert. Put those 10,000 hours in.
Yep. 100%. Let's go. Let's talk about Wesley, your character in Christmas Carolina, real quick. Now, I don't want to beat this over the head because again, you've done a lot of press and interviews with this. But that character now, how much influence did you have on it? Because again, I feel like it's just an extended version of you. But once you were given the script and so on, were you able to? I don't think this is. I don't think it's a bad question, even though this was your first major role. But like, you still got to wear those shoes, and I think, especially with the camaraderie of the casting, I think that they absolutely would have gave you a platform to say, like, I think that this should be done this way. But wonder how much influence did you have, whether it's making some edits in the script, or shall I say giving that character the swag it had? How much of that were you able to really influence on it? Because you did it again, very natural fit for you, and it just seems like an elevated version of you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I really appreciate how that feels and how that looks. I think, like I said, now I don't think the relationships built amongst that cast and crew were so strong that they were, first of all, Wesley was already written to be a charming guy who had swagger, who could speak well, and could present himself in front of a camera as such, but be authentic in a way that he's just being Wesley.
Yeah.
So there's some things that me and the writer actually, are we back?
Yeah, you get.
Sorry. The writer and I were extremely close during this time. I mean, we would talk on the phone for hours. So she did her work, and she wasn't just going to let anybody be Wesley. They had to be able to, and she had to make sure that I was ready.
Yeah.
And there's something she tweaked, but not very many. I mean, that's not much. It was like she made sure that Wesley could be Wesley. She didn't want Wesley to be some guy who wasn't Wesley. So I got to give the writer a lot of credit on how she wrote out the characters, because all of the characters, it just so happens that I've got a little, I've been seeing a little bit more, but all of the characters, she nailed these characters.
Yeah.
The characters were they were extended versions, a little, very much exaggerated versions of ourselves, but they were almost extended versions of sides of us. And that, yes, we were acting, but there was like it wasn't acting on camera. It was so natural for all of us.
Yeah.
So we didn't mess with the script, because that's not our field. We try to do best with what we have, and make it as natural and authentic as possible for the camera, for our scene partners. But no, we didn't touch the script. We just tried to bring it to life as much as possible. But I have to give kudos to the writer. I have to give the kudos to the actors. Everybody made the atmosphere so they made it a successful atmosphere.
Yeah.
They made it easy. it made it feel good. It wasn't work.
Yeah.
And doing, more projects, I see how special CIC was for all of us, because I've not touched the project yet that has had that type of magic. That was
Yeah.
like lightning in a bottle. That
Yeah.
was
I was going to say, it's nothing worse than a love story where the love interests don't have chemistry. And I got to be honest too. I mean, with love being the premise of it, and along with some other things, I thought that, even the montage scenes of just kind of strolling and everything, I was digging that. I was like, it feels genuine. Like, I hate to say it, but I was like, man, this feels like OG me, back in the day, strolling around.
OG. Yeah, bro. It was, man, it was just a thrilling experience. And Jocelyn and I, man, we could do that all day long. Like they're probably lucky we finished the movie in 6 days, because we still be out there strolling. So it was awesome, man.
Oh, that is funny.
I really appreciate everybody who had a part in that, man. A lot of people took a lot of time with me. They took a big chance on me. I had some big shoes to fill, as you see, because rather you're a natural, or rather people cater things to what helps highlight you. You still got to get in front of that camera, and you can't look. You can't be novice. You can't look novice.
Yeah.
You have to go in there and still fulfill that role in justice, and to belly your scene part in the scene as well. So it was divine, man. It was divine.
Gotta do the work. Now, complicated. Now, the title. I feel like when I say the title, I gotta hit one of those complicated. Tell us about this project that's going to be dropping this year, and a little bit about your character in it.
Well, I'm not too sure about when the project is dropping.
Yeah, I mean, I kept my eye on it since I've seen it on your listed on you. So I didn't see when, but that's what I'm trying to say. What information you got for us with this?
I think it's going to be thrilling. I think it's going to be something that people aren't very used to me seeing me in that light, because it's definitely not what it's not what everybody would expect. So it's going to be a lot different.
Okay.
I can't
give anything away.
Yeah, I can't give too much.
Yeah.
But, I think it's going to be interesting. I've got some more things that's coming up this year that I'm very excited about. I've got some scripts waiting, and as soon as I'm able to release them, trust me, you'll be the first one I call, brother. My
man, you have a seat here at any time. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm very interested to see the diversity in your career. I think that Wesley is an absolute first plaque on the wall. I like, to be honest too. I just feel like looking at Wesley at times, especially back in back on the Christmas scene, when there's a few things I liked about Wesley. Number one, I think that how Wesley comes off as like the bystander of his family when all the drama was kind of like poured around. How do you just kind of standoffish? Like, I resonated with that a little bit. But also I like the idea of how what his relationship did, how it elevated the holidays. And again, been in those shoes too as well. You're bringing somebody home for the holidays and how it worked. And I just felt like how you portrayed that character. I kept my eye focused on it, obviously being a male. And it's just like, I'm just wondering, like, how genuine is this going to be in the Black home? And it's just like Wesley and his actions, his mannerisms, like even some of his rebuttal things, just like, yo, that's so on point. Like, I don't know if people realize this or not. Like, I really appreciated that character for that note. So, and again, I can't wait to see the versatility in your acting. As soon as you had mentioned about wanting to be an action film, I was like, oh, I can see this. I can see that. I can see that charm at the same time kicking some ass. So like, I'm signed on, brother. I can't wait to see what's to come. So I have to wait, much like everybody else, to see what 2021 is going to bring. As you say, you got a few projects. You got Complicated, which has already been announced, but we're still waiting on a release date. Folks, this is just the climax with the pandemic. Things are just being shuffled around. But you got to stay You got to keep an eye and follow your favorites out there, social media and all that, as you know, news are just swirling all the time. So I'm excited, dude. I'm excited.
I'm excited to come back on this show. So you make sure that we always have a relationship that
No doubt.
you keeping me up to date too.
No doubt, man. It's so weird, man, because it's like even doing these things, it's just like back in 2019, you're like, well, 2020, we would have hit the film festival. I would have seen you in person. We would have been kicking it already, man, doing this in person. But you know, this is what it is. But we still keep the connections going. I can't stress enough. I wish you much success going into the future. I cannot wait to see what's to come. And like I said, the seat is open. So, you know, as soon as you're ready, no more scheduling. Just say, I'm coming on tomorrow, man. Open the door.
You know, I got you all day long, brother. I got you.
So before we leave, any other comments, any other thoughts or anything you want to share with the fans or anything?
You guys can catch me on Facebook at DJ Rowell, Rowell, on Instagram at Rock'em Nation, ROCKEMNATION. And guys, whatever it is that you guys, or if you guys are excited about the films, the career, make sure you comment, like, get in touch with me. Let's connect. And make sure that whatever you're doing out there, you just, you know, don't waste time. Get after it. Do what you want to do and do it the right way. Put the work in and watch the results change. Change your perspective and shift it to what works for you. Use that inner force, whatever's inside of you, bring it out and drive it forward in a positive light. And I'll be here to support.
Amen. And I do give full permission to anybody who wants to clip any of these sound bites that are in these gems that are being dropped today. So if you need this inspiration in your life constantly to be playing over and over, definitely clip it if you got to. But overall, you know, you can find that and more and all his information that he just said, which will be in the description below. David's a brother. David's a pleasure to have you, brother. And we'll be talking very soon in the future. And thank you so much for stopping by today. And for everybody watching, I appreciate y'all stopping by. We will both catch you all very soon.
Y'all be good, fam.